Lokoz boxing. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. The anticipated fight that we were waiting on has now become a reality. So as we know that the fight's official now for November 6th, can Caleb Plant really beat Canelo? Anybody will say that this is boxing and anything's possible in boxing. But I'd like to take a step back and get back to reality. Caleb Plant is nowhere near as experienced as Canelo Alvarez. Caleb has about 21 fights. He is undefeated, so he has that going for him. However, if we compare Caleb Plant's 21 fights against Canelo's 56 total fights that he's had, we can see that there is a huge difference in the experience that both of these fighters have. Now, if we compare the opponents that Canelo has fought throughout the course of his history as a professional fighter, and we compare the opponents that Caleb Plant has fought against through his career, we can also see that Canelo has had a lot more experience against elite fighters, more difficult and challenging fighters, different styles of fighters. Putting this aside, we know Caleb Plant is not a power puncher. He is not a KO artist. While Canelo himself may not be the go-to person to call a KO artist, he has had his fair share of knockouts, and he knows what he's doing when he's going to set someone up for a knockout. With all this being said, I don't think this will be as easy as a fight as people think it will be for Canelo. The reason behind it is that Caleb Plant is a runner. He's a very slick fighter. He's very technical, and he doesn't like to take big risks in fights. So with Caleb Plant being a runner and not being a risky fighter, that tells us he's going to try to make this as boring as a fight as he can make it. He's going to run away from Canelo all night long. He's going to go, throw in his jab, run away. And this is the type of fight that really frustrates boxers, fighters like Canelo Alvarez, who want to interchange with their opponents. It's going to be very frustrating, and Canelo's going to have to be very, very patient, because Plant's going to want to mess up Canelo's style. He's going to want to imitate Mayweather as much as he can to try to find that success. I really don't think this will work out for Plant, because Canelo has learned from his mistakes in the past, from his fight against Mayweather. He's learned a lot from his fight against Lara. He demonstrated some of this with Billy Joe Saunders, as he was a slick fighter, and it didn't work out too well for Billy Joe Saunders, as everybody saw. Not to mention, Caleb Plant is very good on his feet. He's very slick. He can make you miss. He can run in and out as he pleases in the ring. However, when you put pressure on Caleb Plant, he tends to waste his energy too much. He gets to give out. He gasses out about mid-fight. So with all of this said, I think that will end up happening is that Caleb Plant will frustrate Canelo during the beginning of the fight, maybe the first 5 rounds. He might even get the first 5 rounds running around the ring, throwing his jab around. But then during the mid-fight, round 5 or 6, his batteries are going to run out. He's going to be all gassed out and tired. He's not going to be able to keep running away. Canelo's going to pressure him, and he's not going to be able to fight Canelo off with his power. And this might even end up just like Billy Joe Saunders did, except maybe not his eye. But, technical knockout, or even a full KO. That would not entirely be surprising at all. In fact, it might even be expected. But I'll give Plant the benefit of the doubt, and we can probably expect to go all 12 rounds because he's going to be very precautious. I'm sure Plant's going